What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and if you're having one of those days where you just got a lot on your plate today, or you're just having a rough one, well, I'd recommend that today you take a look at President Joe Biden, and it might make you feel a little bit better about your situation. You guys, this is your Joe Biden stimulus package update, infrastructure bill update, and breaking news update. And there's a lot going on for this guy today. I don't even know where to start. Let's just go ahead and start right here. Take a look at this. Biden administration announces the biggest increase to food stamps ever. That's right. They're going to be increasing this particular stimulus provision, providing SNAP benefits or more food for families. So for those of you that depend on that, that's some good news for you, as they're going to be increasing that provision. Now, as you know, right now, President Joe Biden is waiting for Congress to get done with the infrastructure package that he is hoping will be a highlight of his presidency, passing this infrastructure package, two parts. The first portion for $1 trillion in infrastructure spending through a bipartisan effort, Democrats and Republicans coming together and passing it through. And then the second portion for $3.5 trillion in human infrastructure, or the largest stimulus package that we have seen so far through the process of reconciliation with unified Democrats. And what we're hearing is Democrats are everything but unified, you guys. They cannot agree on anything, and they're actually arguing amongst themselves in the House and the Senate, holding each portion of it hostage, ransom, threatening not to pass anything and derail it all because they can't come to agreements. Well, President Joe Biden is waiting for them to come together and pass something, hoping it'll be a highlight of his presidency. And we saw Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi float a procedural move on the infrastructure bill, trying to come to some sort of agreement. But you guys, we already got a response I'm going to be sharing with you here shortly. Now, while all that's going on, President Joe Biden's waiting, but he's got a lot on his plate right now. As you guys know, after 20 years, this is breaking news, of U.S. troops being in Afghanistan, he has decided that it is time for them to withdraw. And he warned everybody, saying, don't worry, it's going to be fine, it's going to be controlled, we're going to do this, and it's going to happen very smoothly and well. And what we saw unfold was, in a matter of about 2 weeks, everything that they had done over the last 20 years completely unravel and was everything but controlled. Take a look at these headlines, you guys. Joe Biden's botched withdrawal plunges Afghanistan into chaos. And article after article is coming out like this. Take a look at this one. Now, I can't share this one with you. It's pretty graphic. So if you want to look it up, go ahead and take a look at Business Insider. Look at Twitter of people falling to their end, trying to escape what's happening right now in Afghanistan. Take a look at this. Photos and videos appear to show Afghans trying to flee the Taliban, falling out of planes as they leave Kabul airport. And yes, they're holding on to the sides of the planes on the outside, trying to escape, you guys. And as you can see here, take a look at this. Polls show from the Hill that the majority of Americans disapprove of Biden's handling of what happened in Afghanistan. And take a look at this. Trump calls on Biden to resign in disgrace amid Afghanistan's withdrawal. And in addition to that, take a look at this. Just came out today. Watch live. Biden addresses the crisis in Afghanistan after Taliban takeover in Kabul. But look at this. Biden says he stands squarely behind Afghanistan decision. Take a look at this one. Biden says Afghanistan war was a lost cause, vows to continue aid. So you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What we're hearing is the vast majority of Americans say, no, this was done incorrectly. However, he's standing by his decision. So you guys, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest on the largest stimulus provision that has been passed so far for SNAP benefits, what's going on right now with negotiations for infrastructure, and also this breaking news about what's happening right now with the Taliban and Afghanistan. So we're going to dive right into this update for you on everything that's happening with President Joe Biden as of today, August 16th, 2021. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, keeping you up to date on everything that's going on right now, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. Also, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this stuff. And also be sure to share this out if you think it's going to be helpful to other people. Now, in addition to that, if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, come join the Ram fam, and I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff. And if you got any specific questions that you want me to answer, on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions you want answered. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in, because we've got a lot to cover about what's happening today with President Joe Biden and stimulus and infrastructure and breaking news. All right, so first up, link in the description below to this article that reads, Biden administration announces the biggest increase to food stamps ever, you guys. And it says the Biden administration approved on Monday, today, the biggest boost to food assistance benefits in the history of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, aka SNAP, a reform that could impact as many as 42 million Americans. Starting in October, SNAP benefits will increase by an average of 25% above pre-pandemic levels, and that will be the first time the purchasing power of aid has changed since the program's creation in 1975. Now, ensuring low-income families have access to a healthy diet helps prevent disease, supports children in the classroom, and reduces healthcare costs and more, U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack said in a statement. Now, and the additional money families will spend on groceries helps grow the food economy, creating thousands of new jobs along the way. Now, the U.S. Department of Agriculture said the updated benefits formula is based on the current food prices, what Americans typically eat, dietary guidance, and nutritions in food items. Now, a study by the government in June found that 88% of SNAP recipients were struggling to achieve a healthy diet. Now, the average benefit, which was $121 before the pandemic, will increase by $36 a month under the new policy, according to the USDA. So they're going to be increasing that benefit starting in October by 25%. Now, speaking of stimulus, we're waiting for Congress to go ahead and pass that infrastructure package, and the second portion is for more stimulus. But we've heard that 9 Democrats in the House said they will derail the stimulus package if Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi does not go ahead and pass that first portion in the House for more infrastructure. Well, take a look at this article, link in the description below. Pelosi floats procedural move on infrastructure bill. And it says House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Sunday, yesterday, floated a procedural move on the bipartisan infrastructure bill, but the idea did not satisfy a group of moderates who are pushing for a quick vote on passage of the measure. Now, the House is returning to Washington next week in order to pass the Senate-approved $3.5 trillion budget resolution that will pave the way for a social spending bill that can pass with only Democratic votes. And we heard that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi wants them to go ahead and move along that stimulus package, and she said there will be no movement on the infrastructure bill in the House until they get that done. But now she's changed her tune as that group of 9 Democratic members in the House have threatened to derail that stimulus package. Now, it says, while we appreciate the forward procedural movement on the bipartisan infrastructure agreement, our view remains consistent. We should vote first on the bipartisan infrastructure framework without delay and then move to immediate consideration of the budget resolution, they said, letting her know it's not going to work. We want infrastructure first. And you guys, we're going to see what Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi does, how she responds to these threats. And right now, President Joe Biden is saying that this is going to be one of the highlights of his presidency, and he's just pretty much waiting for Congress to see if they can pass infrastructure and the largest stimulus package we've seen so far. Now, let's go ahead and get to this breaking news that just came out. Joe Biden's botched withdrawal plunges Afghanistan into chaos, you guys. Take a look at this. In early July, President Joe Biden informed the American people of the coming drawdown of the U.S. forces from Afghanistan after a 20-year occupation. Now, the evacuation would be secure and orderly, he said, with the little chance of the Taliban takeover. Now, the likelihood there's going to be a Taliban overrunning everything is owning the whole country is highly unlikely, he said. Little more than a month later, Biden has been proven wrong on all counts, it says. The Taliban took over Afghanistan on Sunday, entering the capital city of Kabul with no resistance after a 2-week-long blitz in which multiple capitals fell into the insurgents' hands, and the president of Afghanistan, he fled the country on Sunday, abandoning his fortress-like palace to the black turban militants who roam freely in his office by the day's end. U.S. diplomats, meanwhile, rushed to destroy sensitive documents and equipment at the sprawling U.S. embassy, and the building's American flag was lowered and flown abroad a helicopter to the Kabul airport while the U.S. personnel gathered for safety. So you guys, things have just totally gone out of control there. Now, like a long-anticipated death, Americans knew that this day would come, but the collapse was so sudden and complete that it was stunning when it finally did. It's a reality difficult to fathom after nearly 2 decades of U.S. involvement in the Afghanistans, where more than 2,300 of the troops have died, more than 20,000 have been wounded, hundreds of thousands of Afghanistans maimed or killed, and $2 trillion spent. Now, on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 attacks this September, a Taliban flag will fly over Afghanistan. Now, Biden's miscalculation could alter his presidency and weaken his U.S. standing overseas. And as we mentioned, you guys, the majority of Americans disapprove of the way President Joe Biden handled this situation in Afghanistan. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It says a majority of Americans disapprove of Biden's handling of the U.S. military operations in Afghanistan, according to a new poll. Now, the survey conducted by the Trafalgar Group found that 69% of the polled Americans disapproved of Biden's handling of the U.S. military presence in the war-torn country, with only 23% approving. Now, when broken down by party, 48% of Democrats disapproved, so almost half of Democrats disapproved as well of the handling, while almost 40% of those polled gave him positive marks. Now, but the gap was much wider among Republicans. Nearly 89% said they disapproved of the job that Biden is doing when it came to Afghanistan, with only 7% saying that they have approved. Now, in addition to that, we also heard from former President Donald Trump, who said that he should resign in disgrace. Listen to this. He said he should resign in disgrace on Sunday amid the U.S. troops' withdrawal from Afghanistan and the Taliban's takeover of the country. Now, also, we saw President Joe Biden address this today. He had a statement that he released, and he said that he stands by his decision, you guys. He said it was high time for them to leave. It was a lost cause, and that they needed to go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But you guys, a lot unfolding today, a lot of things happening for President Joe Biden regarding this breaking news, stimulus, infrastructure, and everything that's unfolding today. And as you guys know, as more information rolls out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date right here on the channel. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. Lets YouTube know you think I'm doing a good job, and in turn, they might share this out with other people as well. In addition to that, if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. You can join the Ram fam, and I'll keep you up to date on everything that's unfolding. And also be sure to shoot me any questions that you got on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you have any specific questions that you want answered. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll be sure to catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.